pot is munted, handle is melted, lid's wonky, popcorn from here to Africa, and the house stunk of stuffed wiring. Microwave didn't want to work after that either. We used to
That's how
burn...
you create lightning.
Yeah, we used to burn popcorn when we were cooking at home by ourselves when we were younger, and we'd just take the whole pot and throw it over the fence down the bank. And Mum would be like, where the fuck have our pots gone?
Hello there, welcome to Not For Radio. We are your hosts, Duncan Hyde, Jay Reeve. It's good to have you along for the Thursday edition, Up the Waz and all that. If you do want heaps more episodes, you've sort of peeled through the back cat, you can become Sniper Elite, which means you get access to ad-free, about 250 other episodes of just absolute debaucherous yarns, and on top of that as well, you get a bit of Team Kit too.
Yes, and to those people in the Northern Hemisphere that messaged about the Not For Radio sunglasses, yes, we did get re-upped. Yes, they still are available. Yes, they do ship to your part of the world. So wrap some fucking decent sunnies around your bonts while you sit there sweltering away in 38 degrees in Treviso in Italy or wherever you are. A yarn at the end of the pod for me that just absolutely captures the Glastonbury experience that I want to have.
We've also got to dive back into mischief you've got up to when you've been home alone. I tell you what, the bloke with the pair of scissors, that's a real concern. I'm going to take a real easy bet right now and bet you that he's in prison now.
Dunc spruiks the importance of shopping local, and by local he means on his own computer buying shit from Temu.
Well, there's a bit more substance to it than that. A great message from Maddie, who's been peeling through the back catalogue of Not For Radio while he started a small business. Bit of love for small business owners. Got a bloke that fell out of a plane, hungover.
Spewing.
Yeah, and a lady that did herself a mischief with some ammo straight off the bat here. Enjoy the podcast.
Snipers, ready up. It's war story time.
This one from Emma in Australia.
G'day, Ems.
G'day, Ems. Good to have you listening, mate. About 15 years ago, after returning home from a hunting trip up in North Australia, my partner at the time and I started to unpack. He suggests I pop the guns away and he mows the lawns before we both had to work the next day. Fair deal, happy days. So imagine this, an idyllic afternoon, sun shining, birds whistling, old mates on the mow, and I'm methodically popping away the firearms and ammo. Getting ready for a settle-in for a quiet Sunday evening when a whopping fucking bang like something fucking exploded, ears ringing, thinking, holy fuck, the bastard has shot me. I go running out of the shed like a crazed war-torn victim who had a shell explode next to them, with ears ringing, unable to hear a thing. I'm screaming, it just went off!
Shit.
Little did I know, I actually looked like a war-torn victim with wounds and bruising to my face. Old mate partner shut down the mower and looked very confused as I was still screaming, it just went off! He then jumps into action, rips my top up, spins me around to inspect my body for battle wounds with no gaping holes in my abdomen. He walks me back to the shed to make sense of this absolute shit show. Finally, the buzzing in my ears starts to settle and he gets into being Inspector Gadget, trying to piece together what had just happened. With precision CSI skills, he finds an empty ammo shell and projectile on the bench and floor with guns safely put away. It's a mystery. But then the penny drops. He sees that in my methodical cleanup, I have placed my full plastic ammunition sleeve on top of a sealed battery. Yes, that's right. Somehow I have placed this precisely on top of the terminals, across the terminals where the positive and negative are in opposite ends of the bullet. This created the chain reaction that led me to believe my said old mate at the time had fucking shot me. Wow. The heat from the terminals caused the bullet to heat up. Gunpowder went up in a cloud of smoke, peppering me with the powder burns to my whole face and arms and making my fucking ears ring like I've been infested with a swarm of mozzies. Fucking hell, that was a wild Sunday afternoon. Cheers, Emma.
There's nothing like the sound of like a firearm going off in your ear.
I wouldn't say, you know, when we're duck shooting,
yeah,
and like we're very safe with our guns,
yeah.
But like on the odd occasion, you might forget to put your muffs back on because you've been back down in the mai doing something, and then you might pop back up, and then the ducks come in out of nowhere, and then a couple of rounds get unleashed. And when you're not used to it and you don't have muffs on, all I think of is going to war. And how fucking intense that must be.
Yeah, because no one's running into war with earplugs, are they?
Shit, no, you got a bit on.
Yeah, every single one of those people that you just see holding up an AK-47 into the air and just spraying off rounds.
On the back of the Hilux.
Yeah. And also, the other thing I always thought about that when I see people just like going brrr, brrr, brrr into the air, those rounds are going to come down eventually.
Yeah.
Be like fucking hail. Hot
The
hail.
worst sort of hail.
Yeah. I've got a
Especially if you see them doing it in a city, right?
yeah.
Someone's just going to be watching bloody Sunday.
Hanging out the washing. Fuck, what's
watching
that?
Home and Away, and then boom, game over.
Yeah.
It would happen. It 100% would.
Reload and focus. Another war story inbound.
Okay. This one's out of the UK. What's up, fellas and fellette? Big Westy Lee. Absolutely love the show, and it keeps me laughing during downtime, long flights, and other times of inactivity. I'll call myself Mark, because that's not
Mark.
my fucking name,
good
as I
call.
have a job that requires total anonymity.
Yes. Yes.
Having heard an occasional yarn about skydiving on your potty, I decided to chip in with my own about the time I caused a plane to make an emergency landing, and I wasn't even on board. Well, not then anyway. Me and the boys are on our way home from a work project overseas. See, this guy sounds like an elite level operator.
Yeah.
And we had a stopover in a country in Europe close to home. Knowing we would be there for 2 days and having been there before, one of the blokes suggested heading to a local skydiving centre there to get a few jumps in as we'd visited them before. We all agreed, decided we'd make our way there the day after as we had to go out on the piss first.
Of course.
Having enjoyed many beers and gin and teas, that night we all woke up absolutely minging but made our way to the D zone. We checked in, sorted our gear and got ready for a day of jumping. I decided to get a sausage butty, 3 cans of Pepsi down me to perk me up. This particular DZ operates a very small plane, only big enough to accommodate 4 jumpers. And I was asked if I wanted to go up first and act as the jump master. This involved opening the door, checking to see if we were over. We should be over the DZ and basically be in charge of the jumpers on board. Sure.
Drop zone.
Yeah, drop zone. No worries, I'll do that. On the first particular flight was myself, a tandem instructor, and his very, 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 very nervous passenger, and a camera flyer to film the nervous lady. We did the flight line checks and boarded the plane. I went to shut the door, but it was a bit stuck. After a bit of fucking around, I closed it and we took off. The plane climbed really fucking slow. It was a hot day and I was feeling really sick from all the piss, sausages and Pepsi. But it wouldn't be the first time I've jumped hungover, so fuck it, no biggie. When we reached jump altitude, I was given a signal to open up the door by the pilot. Thank fuck for that. I happened to notice that when I shuffled on my knees to open the door, the tandem passenger was white as a sheet and absolutely catatonic. Pretty common though, so I was more concerned about the sausage and Pepsi combo washing around in my guts like an old top-loaded fucking washing machine. Now, I've mentioned before that the door was a bit of a bastard to open. As I leaned over the side to slide the door open, I had to wrestle with it. But a bit more pressing issue, I was going to spew my guts. No sooner had I whacked the door open and hung my head out to check the spot, I not only vomited out the door, but I also fell out head first.
Oh, wowee!
Now, to me, it was funny and no big deal. After tumbling around for a bit and laughing, I got stable, played about on my own and deployed my canopy at about 4,000 feet. Yes, I'd fucked up my duties, but the cameraman was an experienced jumper and would have to take over. However, when under canopy, I noticed the plane landing a lot sooner than I'd expected. I landed in a field about half a mile away as I fell out over the D zone, and once I'd been picked up, I found out that the plane had indeed landed way sooner than normal. And I was kind of the reason. The nervous passenger, upon seeing me vomit and then, in her mind, witness a man slip and plunge to his death from an open plane door at 12,000 feet, freaked her the fuck out. She had a full panic attack, was trying to get away from the instructor to close the door herself, had to physically restrain her and get the pilot to land quick, or shit was going to go sideways. Upon landing, the tandem guy had to calm her down before releasing her. The medics were called, and she was showing signs of shock because in her mind, I just fucking died. When my transport pulled up back at the drop zone, I witnessed the absolute chaos around, totally unaware what I had caused. The terrified passenger saw me, went even whiter than she was on the plane, ran over, punched me in the face and stormed off. What the fuck was that all about? I asked the camera guy. He then spent 20 minutes trying to tell me the story between fits of laughter. News quickly spread and I was ripped to fuck by everyone. My nickname became Panic Attack after that, and it's still to blokes whenever we work with different teams. We enjoyed a full day of jumping after that, but I was not allowed anywhere near the door to open it again. Got a few more stories regarding airborne tomfoolery, but I'll save them for another time. Cheers, guys. Up the waz.
Ceasefire, snipers. Today's top marksman has been selected. The war story of the day goes to...
I'm going to go with Mark. Now, hear me out. Mark, not Mark.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing what different people can do when they're hungover because they're used to it?
Yeah.
He had a full day of skydiving hungover after falling out of a plane
Yeah.
and vomiting.
Yeah, I've seen.
Amazing.
Yeah, I've seen people play 3 games of rugby league, like seniors rugby league, having 2 hours kip and just thumping piss all night, and just put 80 minutes into every single game.
There was a guy this week who was racing against a Kiwi bloke. They were the last 2 in the backyard ultra marathon. He did 798 kilometres in like 6 days.
That's so crazy.
And the craziest thing, it's even harder. It's like a 5.7k loop.
Yeah.
So they're just going over the same bit of ground over and over and over again. Apparently when it gets dark, that's like just hard because your brain can't, like, it's got nothing going into your eyeballs, so your brain starts processing nothing and you hallucinate really hard.
Which in itself would be kind
Which
of fun.
is another way of pushing your body. Some would argue it's probably less healthy than sinking piss.
Yeah, the fact that we've got people that have to be anonymous and obviously operate in that space.
But gave
to
us
this.
his nickname.
Yeah.
And everyone knows. Good to have you listening, Panic Attack.
Yeah, I think that's fucking cool.
Well, and it would be good, like, because there's high-level operators, like you say, that's what we were picking, high-level operators that love to have a fucking good time.
Totally.
But the only people they can tell these crazy yarns, we know one of them, like, is like their type 5 mates.
Yeah.
And the rest of the year, we've got to keep a lid on it because they're like a professional guy or gal.
And if you can be anonymous, and then you get to hear it anyway, and then it's like we've all got the same sense of humour. We all find the same weird fucked shit funny. So it's good stuff. So keep them coming in as much as you can without trying to get anyone in trouble. I think it's worth reiterating. We have zero connection to any form of military or military service. We are fucking crunches at best. We would be the first ones under the fucking tank tracks if we were ever to be in the military.
Yeah, we'd be the ones that would be used to get a bog tank out of the mud.
Operation Human Shield.
Lie down there. Get some traction on your torso.
Send Jay and Dunc in with a painted broomstick and fucking hope for the best.
We've got a message here from Matt.
Good day, boys. You may address me as Matt. Why are you ask? Well, because that's my fucking name. I just been listening to the Spicy Burger or Are You Just Fat episode, and made me remember about a time a colleague and I barebacked to Carolina Reaper and suffered the fucking consequences. Perhaps I'll write into you because it's a bit of a David Longy. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you guys that you're doing a fucking fantastic job. I recently set up my own business and I've listened to every fucking single one of your episodes and they've kept me very much entertained working on my own for the last 6 months. And, I've run out of episodes now, so now I'm going to have to pay you fucking $1 beer a month subscription for your Sniper Elite. Anyway, guys, keep up the fucking fantastic work, keeping me going, working alone, and entertaining the millions of people that you do across the world. Up the fucking wires.
Up the fucking
Jeez, isn't that just fucking magic? I love that shit. I love it. I fucking love it.
Massive respect. I've been thinking about what it'd be like to start my own business, and I just can't get past the amount of bullshit you've got to deal with, especially if you grow to a team of, like, let's say you've got 5 people under you. Then you're managing people. People are fucked. And then you're managing, like, stuff that's outside of your control, depending on what the business is, and you've got to deal with that. Sometimes money's not coming in, but you've still got to pay your employee. Like, fuck, it is a lot of stress.
Yeah, some
people are people that do it.
Yeah, some people are built for it, some people aren't. Like, I even look at those real mum and dad sort of fish and chip shop operations on really expensive streets. That fucking rent ain't cheap. And when you're selling fish and chips and trying to recoup enough cash to stay open next to boutique clothing stores. Like, that must be tough going as well.
I was over the yarn today, so I was at the mall, took the kids to the mall before we went to some inflatable world, sent Jay a voice memo about it. And I was walking past one of the places that does your new screens and iPhone cases and stuff. I was like, fuck, it's right there. I should get one. My screens look like shit for about 5 months. And I was like, oh, actually, my case is missing buttons too, so I'll get a case. What do you got, sort of thing. She had her... Looked like a 6-year-old just in a pram, just sitting there. That was school holidays. That's her day. She probably can't afford the daycare for the kids, so the kid just sits there watching an iPad for 8 hours. I was like, man, everyone does it tough, especially around school holiday times. And she's a business owner too. And then so snapped on the new screen and the case, and then went to pay for it $74. And I didn't even choose the hard out case. And I was like, fuck. But as I was walking away, I did think to myself, that went to you. You've got bills to pay.
I know,
and
probably
you're selling iPhone cases in the middle of the mall, and you need to mark that shit up. Otherwise, you probably work until fucking October before you start getting any profit.
Yeah.
With the amount of ground rent she's paying. So I was like, whatever. Well, that's why I like paying local people with local businesses, and even if you pay overs, whatever.
You know, we've just crossed.
There's a guy that's got 80 AliExpress orders on the way.
Yeah. Fuck.
I got work to do. I'm not perfect.
Yeah, we just crossed the path. We just crossed the point of now earning for ourselves after working all year. Because that first half is tax.
Yeah, Dad always used to say that.
Yeah.
I work till potty Wednesday lunchtime or Thursday lunchtime before I start making any money for myself.
That's pretty classic. Jimmy Carr does it. He goes, I do 2 shows a night, one for me, one for the tax man.
That's
not a bad way of thinking about it. Because then you go, this one's just to get the fucking wolf away from the door.
She's expensive to run a country, man. And then you got people that fucking fritter away money on all sorts of things. That's our hard-earned money, but I try not to think about it.
No.
Because I would be way worse. They're not great at doing it. I don't think anybody is. You can never win. You 50% of the population minimum is going to hate what you do no matter what you do. And anybody in their right mind would make that call and be like, I don't need that heat. So whatever. You carry on doing it and waste our money. I'll put up with it and try not to think about it.
Yeah. That's.
I paid $15 for some curly fries today.
Did you?
Another donation. Wasn't even that big. And that was for me. And then this was at the inflatable world.
What's
and
the
$13 for chips and 4 nuggets. And I got both the boys them. And then I paid for games. And I was like, holy fuck, this is why we never go anywhere. How do people do this shit? It's out the gate.
It's cheaper to go to fucking silver service fine dining.
It would be. I could have got a Wagyu steak for lunch. Actually could have.
What's the last
and a hand job.
What is the last thing that you bought that you're like, what the actual fuck?
Obviously the phone case this morning, but it makes sense and I've rationalised it in my brain.
The last I was at, and I'll keep the establishment.
Dixie bought
names.
me $120. How much is that T-shirt worth she bought back from last year from Melbourne? Remember when you're like, whew, Dunk's wearing some brand, I don't even know what it's called.
Yeah, what was
Is it Kasubi or something?
Oh, Subi, yeah.
Yeah. What's that worth?
Yeah, it'd be sort of that $120 mark thing.
For a T-shirt?
Yeah,
What
so
a fucking mug.
So Tricky got me a Stone Island shirt, and it was like 400 and something pounds. And it's like, fucking shit.
How many times you worn it?
I haven't worn it yet. I'm fucking too scared. What if I fuck it up?
You pay $800 New Zealand for a T-shirt.
Well, it's like a shirt, like an overshirt, yeah.
An overshirt. And then every time you wear it there on out, may as well dry clean it because it's an expensive shirt.
Yeah.
It's a hell of an operation to be running.
We were at, Anna and I were at a place just having, like, catching up after a pals meeting and having a fucking drink at this thing, just going over some shit. Anyway, it's like a wine bar, and so we just got like a nice glass, you know, like a little mid-ranger, like $13 a glass sort of thing. And then the person came over and was like, oh, did you enjoy that? And we're like, yeah. And they're like, oh, if you enjoyed that, then you might like this one, and came and poured us a glass. And I was like, oh, sweet as. I was like,
couldn't taste the difference.
Nah, there wasn't a lot of difference in it. Like maybe a little bit more complexity to it, but not to what the fucking bill ended up being. So $13 a glass for the first ones. We're looking $26. The bill was $147. I was like, what the fuck did we just drink then? 4 glasses of wine, 140 clicks.
No thanks.
And I was like, you cheeky motherfucker. Like, surely you go,
do you know how many kgs of grapes that is?
that's the same that went into the fucking $13 glass. That's how much it is.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it. I was like, that's borderline theft. It's a stitch up.
Usually, if there's still 2 glasses left in that bottle. No. Oh, 1 glass left. If you have 1 glass each from it, 3 glasses from a bottle, right?
No, how big are your glasses?
You're supposed to fill them to the top, aren't you? My man.
2 fingers.
G'day, snipers. This is from Australia, and you're listening to Not for Radio with Jay and Dunc. In the famous words of Gandhi, take it easy, and if it's easy, take it home.
He's such a wise man in a pair of sandals, wasn't he?
We're going to dive back into this one. This is mischief you got up to when you were left home alone.
Daniel Phillips. About 33 years ago, when I was about 8, I took my dad's car touch-up paint to the alleyway by our house, and I wrote dick and fuck on the wall. It's still there. I see. Oski binned it, and we were out at dinner the other night. Oski binned it on the just fucking around with his mates, and like tore all the skin off his knee. And he was like, man, this really hurts, really hurts. And we were all sitting out. There's a bunch of us having dinner. I was like, come sit here, buddy. Come give me a cuddle. The lady came out, put a plaster on it. He goes, it's so sore. And I was like, how about this? This is your one time where you can say 2 swear words out loud just to get the pain out. And he's like, instantly smiled. And so I was sitting next to a buddy of mine, Maddie, and she's like, oh, what are you going to say? What are you going to say? And she's like, oh, I don't even know what I'd say. You know? Oh, and he goes, I know what I'm going to say. I know what I'm going to say. And I was like, okay, sweet as. I was like, you got to say it pretty loud, though. We're at dinner in a restaurant. Yeah. All the other kids go away. What is it going to be? And he goes, fucking hell. I was like, this... It's a bit of a shit one.
That's what my kids think. They don't know. I'm pretty sure they don't know fuck by itself as a swear word. They think fucking hell is a swear word.
Well, I mean...
So he's like he thinks hell's a swear word because he's older, so he's gone with hell when he could have gone with, you know...
Yeah.
Would have been pretty epic in the middle of a restaurant.
Fucking fuck would have been better, you know? Anyway, that was good from him. And another one
felt better after that.
He literally did. He was like, that was sweet. And so Sick was like, no more. Maddie was perplexed. She was like, what would you go to? I was like,
shit fuck's quite good.
Yeah. I would have fish and chipped it, I reckon.
In the restaurant.
Yeah, F and C, yeah.
Somebody filming with their iPhone.
Oh, we're outside. We're out on the footpath.
Oh, yeah, totally.
We're not allowed inside anymore. This from Anonymous. I was about 7 or 8 and was hungry. I was cooking popcorn on the stove and I ran out of patience. So popcorn and lid went into the microwave. Fucking kaboom. Pot is munted, handle is melted, lid's wonky, popcorn from here to Africa, and the house stunk of stuffed wiring. Microwave didn't want to work after that either. We used to burn...
That's how you create lightning.
Yeah, we used to burn popcorn when we were cooking at home by ourselves when we were younger, and we'd just take the whole pot and throw it over the fence down the bank. And Mum would be like, where the fuck have our pots gone?
Oh,
and then she went down, because our farm had this big garden, and she was eventually going down the bank and turned this bank into the garden. She found like 4 pots of fucking popcorn burnt into the ass of them.
Good sport that, eh? Just up and over standing through the legs and up and over the head.
Yep, that disappears. Jesse James Whitney. My friends and I started a fire on the side of our house with palm tree prongs and almost set the entire house on fire.
On that, I was telling a story which felt relatively normal for me and shocked the rest of the office the other day. They were talking about my kids, and I said I've been playing with lighters a bit lately, which I remember that was pretty fun. Obviously, you've got to have parameters in place and stuff. But anyway, so
your fucking house is burning down.
Probably right now.
Those little fuckers will be burning your house down. Mark my words, you have a fire event before the end of the year.
So I had noticed I'd gone quiet at home. I forget when this was, maybe 10 days ago, something like that.
Terrifying.
And I was like, weird. And then I heard a whole bunch of laughing, and I was down one end of the house, walked down through the lounge, and then saw them all out on that front deck, which is, overlooks where the trampoline is. And they were all out there, and they were laughing, and then I realised what they were doing. They were getting A4 bits of paper and jamming them in the ranch cider so they'd sit there, and then they were lighting the bottom of it, letting the flame get real big, then throwing water at it. And they were having the fucking best time. I was like, Oh, guys, like, I don't want to be the fun police here or the fun sponge, but you can't do this. You'll burn down our house. So someone else literally owns our house. We've sold it now.
Yeah.
Like, this is an issue. I was like, look, there's bloody black marks up the outside of the door frame. And they're like, yeah, okay. I was like, if you're going to do it, at least do it on the concrete. And then 20 minutes later, Dixie caught them doing it again. So we've had to hide all the lighters in our house.
Yeah.
And then later that day, Frank was like, how hard are matches to light? I was like, I'm not getting you fucking matches. Oh, no. Totally was angling for it.
If you've got
I don't think I remember lighting one, eh?
the opportunity to build a fire for like cooking on, or build a fire.
Yeah,
like,
we do it all the time.
That's the shit. That's the one.
That's why I'm like, they get it. They've been probably for the last 18 months, probably every 2 weeks, we'll do the fire pit.
Yeah.
And be around it for hours, and they put their sticks in it or whatever, and they know to be careful with each other. So like that's why I wasn't too worried about it, because they had figured out that they needed something to put it out before it got to the house. So they had thought about it. I wasn't just like, let's light this big pile of paper on, see what happens, and jam it up against the weatherboard home.
Yeah. Get the thing that looks like water next to Dad's paint cans. It has fucking terps written on it.
They haven't got into any of that. I caught Frank sniffing petrol once. Just looking back, he was like, what's that stuff? It smells. But he wasn't there for ages. You ever huff petrol?
No, but this it instantly reminded me of this. We were walking through, skating as teenagers and skating through town, and we saw a guy that we knew who was a bit of a fucking weirdo. And he came up, we were punching ciggies, grommets. And he was standing next to us and he goes, can I have a ciggy? And I was like, fuck, man, can you smell petrol? And he goes, yeah, I've been fucking huffing. And he had like rags soaked in petrol inside his hoodie pocket in front of him and was asking for a ciggy. I was like, you'll become the fucking Human Torch, you idiot. He's like, Dan, do you want to have a hoon? I was like, absolutely not.
So you're going wrong if your kid's cruising around town with a wee wank plank and a pocket full of fucking petrol-soaked rags. Yeah. Jeez.
Our buddy was telling us how he used to get the tea towel and smash fly spray through it. What the fuck?
No, and he was tugging one out in the toilet
at the
same time.
It was full.
It was Glade, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Fuck.
Don't do that. Like, in all seriousness, my old man saw someone die doing that and had to try and revive her on the side of the road.
She was having a wank while fucking sniffing toilet freshener.
Butane, same shit.
Oh, yeah. So this is so basically what ends up happening is butane washes the oxygen off you. So it basically depletes the oxygen out of your system. So then you become oxygen starved, and that's how you end up dying.
Yeah,
it's fucking
Dad
gnarly.
had to work on this check on the side of the road for 15, 20 minutes, and the ambulance arrived, told him to keep going because he's doing a good job. I think he'd done recent training, like first aid training, because he's looking after prisoners for a while when they go out to repaint over tagging and stuff on the weekends to pay off their speeding fines or whatever it is. And so he was pretty handy, and then bloody lost her. They didn't even got her back.
No.
So she just like collapsed on the side of the road. Dad was driving past, and her friend was standing over her looking like freaked out, and all these cars driving past. Dad's like, fuck, that doesn't look normal. I'll pull over and check that out. Messed Dad up, eh? Went to the funeral and stuff.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
It's just, if people, like, they should be telling you that in school. Like, they'll tell you once. It'll be a passing comment. If a teacher's good, they'll be like, don't huff stuff, and then they'll just move on.
Yeah.
Like, there needs to be, maybe the curriculum has changed, I have no idea, but that's like super dangerous and super accessible.
Yeah, it's one of those things that people don't understand what it is. You get, it's like people that just fucking hit nangs over and over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, you can't just rob from Peter.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Peter will end up on the floor.
Pretty trippy.
Wow, 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 wow.
Some more chaos.
Oh, this is the Glasto yarn. You can tell it.
Oh, no, this is not. No, this is from being a home alone
Mischief.
little prick. Yeah. Dan Jones. My little brother flushed our kitten down the toilet, so I threw a pair of kitchen scissors at him, which stuck in his thigh and he nearly bled out. Kitten and brother both survived.
That's a good one to end on. One last thing. Oh, shit, lung.
Take two of these and call me in the morning. Not for radio, with Jay and Dunc.
This last one from James Brinkhurst. I don't know if he's stolen the story or where it came from, but it is about Glasto, and Glasto was over the weekend, and we mentioned it on the podcast earlier in the week for those that aren't Sniper Elite. By the way, if you are, another 250 episodes, fill up your feed right now.
Bang!
You can get the details in the description of the podcast for today's episode. They're always there. all the Up the Wars fans at Glasto, which is just flags and everything. It's awesome. Quite like that flag poles with the huge poles. Do you reckon they sell them there, or are the people taking them in?
People bring them in. They're normally tent poles.
Oh, is that what it is?
You know, the big ones that go over, and they just stick a thing to them, flag to the top of them.
Tough night sleeping if you lose that when you go back to the tent, isn't it? Just wrapped up in a tent fly.
But that was how, according to this chick that I was talking to, who lives in Glastonbury, that's how it became a thing. Is that people used to get like a T-shirt that they'd be wearing and tie it to the top of a tent pole and walk around so their mates could find out where they were. And so that would be where they would always meet up, find the person with the T-shirt on the tent pole, and then eventually it became flags. And then the flags still operate the same way, but they're generally off those fucking, big bungee stretch together things, so you can go tick, 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 wind them down, and then fucking pop them back up.
Ah, that makes sense. Here I was thinking everyone had to find a big fucking patch of bamboo before they go to Glasto every year.
Fucking bamboo's a bastard.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's got to be up there one of the worst plants.
Makes great socks, though.
Can't comment. Don't own a pair of bamboo socks.
Bamboo
sounds like someone slid you a free pair.
No, these are them.
They bamboos. The Saint ones.
Saint ones, bamboo.
Yeah, amazing. All right, James Brinkhurst. This is the yarn from Glasto. 1 a.m. Glasto update. Dark mode. Woke up in a tent that wasn't mine. Surrounded by 3 strangers. What I can only describe as the ghost of a past decision. One of them offered me a line of something off a wet AA battery. Took it. Not proud, but I can now smell colours. Someone passed me a balloon the size of a bowling ball and said, "Take this. It's what Tesco security guards use to transcend." Didn't question it. Don't think of Blink since. Fuck. Lost the last of my mates hours ago. One tried to snort pre-workout and disappeared screaming, "I am Weatherspoons," into the fog. Another was last seen licking the mud and saying, "It tastes like techno." Let him go. Nature's got him now. Found myself in a tent called the Wormhole, which turned out just to be a gazebo filled with lads on case, slumped like haunted mannequins. It smelled like Lynx Africa and unwashed dreams. Someone in the corner whispered, "This is the Tesco meal deal dimension." I nodded. I understood. Was handed homemade acid from a bloke who looked like if anxiety was a person. Tasted like a battery and regret. Ended up thinking the DJ was my ex.
Jesus Christ.
And the bass was a tax investigation. Still danced though. Cone of power's now gone. Replaced by a bloke in a morph suit screaming into a vape. He called himself the Oracle of Pure MD and demanded a sacrifice of our 4 quavers and our dual pod. Someone complied. It got weird after that. Everything smells like kit and regret. Everyone looks like a meme I saw in 2012. Some girl just crawled past me whispering, "Do you have any Becky or self-esteem?" I had neither. We bonded. Security stopped me earlier, asked if I was all right. Told them I was. I was on a personal journey through the underworld with a side quest for Becky. They nodded, like they'd heard worse. Probably had.
No, imagine this shit. That would be like such a great Instagram account to set up, which is just shit you heard at Glastonbury.
Currently crashed behind a speaker stack eating a rave pancake. That's just Dairy Lee's a slice with someone's warmed up glow stick, waiting for the acid to give me tax advice. Vibes are unhinged. Morality is fluid. I'm 60% substance, 40% bad choices. Pray for Dave. He's still in the wormhole. Glasto.
Yeah, that's so sick. That sounds like
all right, mate. Oh, jeez.
If you're going to go, you might as well go. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, no one's fucking... the people... I just... Each to their own, understandably. But whoever's running a fucking 6 a.m. run club at Glasto and then just, like, come and get your fucking chia pud just Chippies is fucking wanking on about in a fucking green smoothie.
You know who people don't remember? Is the person that walked around the block. You know who they do remember? Motherfucking Sir Ed, and he climbed Everest. Way cooler. Climb that mountain, motherfuckers. Peace out.